Aber ja, beziehungsweise itu udah kecil, always yang kecil, nggak baca ben one to one di dalam document itu. Oke, tuh apa itu?
My name is Brian Deck, and I'm here at Ivy Lab Sound Studios in Chicago to talk to you a little bit today about drum miking techniques. We'll start with one microphone and work our way up to 5. I'll describe the microphones I'm using as we go, but as usual, you can use whatever you have on hand. These techniques will improve the recording quality no matter where you are. If you're in a studio, if you're recording at home in your rehearsal space, wherever, it's going to help out. But I wanted to start with one because a lot of people have to record drums with the fewest possible resources. They still want a great sound, and I think I have a way to get you a really punchy, present, good drum sound with one microphone. Check it out. Okay, so this is our one microphone drum setup. I'm using a condenser microphone. It's in Omni, so it's just as sensitive to everything 360 degrees everywhere, which is important in this application. To get a good drum recording, you want it to be punchy and present. And so rather than getting distant and capturing the room, I've got it as close to every element of the drum kit as I can get it. This is right over the beater on the bass drum and in between the snare, the rack tom, and the floor tom, and close enough to the cymbals to get everything. This is what it sounds like. Okay, so this is our 2-microphone technique. We have the same condenser mic switched into cardioid now, which means it's only hearing stuff that comes on axis from below the microphone here. It's not hearing stuff from the other side, whereas it was in Omni before where it was hearing from every direction. We've added a kick drum mic. I generally like the kick drum mic outside of the drum, right in front of the center of the drum head, but you can experiment. I put it on the batter side of the drum before. Some people like it inside the drum. I think that sounds like bouncing a basketball on a gym floor, but you might like that. You might like taking the front head off. Just experiment, get the sound that you want. And remember to check phase between the 2 microphones. Let's hear it. Okay, so here we are again. This is a 3-mic setup. This is a mono 3-mic setup. In our 2-microphone setup, the thing that you usually don't get quite enough of is the floor tom, because you're the farthest away from that element and you're not directly over it. So this 3rd microphone is pretty much a floor tom mic, but it's a little bit distant. It provides a little bit of ambience for the snare drum as well. And I took an extension cord and measured just from the center of the snare drum to the front of each microphone to make sure that both microphones are equidistant from the snare drum. Again, always check phase. Check the phase relationship of each 2 mics to each other. And let's hear what that sounds like. So here's the same 3 microphones in a stereo setup. We've taken the 2 cardioid condenser mics and placed them above the kit to get a stereo snapshot of the whole thing. I like to place the microphones over the toms, equidistant from the center of the snare, sort of roughly in the vicinity of the cymbals, and that will give you a good stereo spread of the drum kit. When you pan those apart, you'll hear the toms move from left to right because you've mic'd it this way. So let's hear that. Okay, now this is a 4-mic setup. Once we move the overheads into a stereo array like that, we got a little bit less snare drum. The snare became a little less punchy, so the 4-mic setup is the same 3-mic stereo setup with an added snare mic. Check phase. Check phase. Keep checking phase. Our last microphone technique today on the drum set is a 5 microphone technique. We've added a Neumann U87 as the room mic. This will bring excitement and depth to your studio recording. Let's hear it. So there's several drum miking techniques. Remember, always experiment, always try new things, always think of different ways to try to suit the needs of the song and the musical project that you're working on. Thanks for spending some time with us today, and check out some of the other videos on reverb.com.
Okay, so ahorita voy a quiero pedir a ustedes con ahorita voy a hacer someone na lo puedo nilani no na atom go right. Thank you.